Hey guys, welcome to your Unit 10 Lesson 3 notes on solving with multiplication and division. That is, solving inequalities with multiplication and division. And watch me attempt to make the shortest notes video ever. By the end of the day, you will be able to solve inequalities with multiplication and division. So remember that to solve an inequality for a variable, you need to undo what is happening to the variable. It is the variable. For example, right here, we want to solve for our m, so we want to undo this plus 7. What will undo a plus 7? Minus 7. So we're going to subtract 7 from both sides, and that'll give us m is less than or equal to 5. Should we graph it? Nope, we're not going to. Remember, shortest notes video ever. Okay, here, what's happening to our n? It's a -9. So to undo that, we're going to add 9 to both sides. That'll give us n is greater than -3. Awesome. What's happening to our g here? Well, that's a 9 times g. What will undo a 9 times g? That's divide by 9. So we need to divide by 9 on both sides. That gives us g is less than or equal to 3. Cool, huh? And finally, we need to get our variable all by itself. What's happening to our h? Well, there's a divide by 3 on our h. What will undo a divide by 3? A multiply by 3. So we're going to multiply by 3 on both sides, which gives us 21 is less than h. That's it. That's your whole lesson. Almost. There's one little exception that we need to make. So let's say we want to solve 4x equals 36. Okay? We would try to get that x by itself, so we divide by 4 and we get x equals 9. That's pretty straightforward, right? Right? We can even check it, right? Let's say we've got a 4 is, okay, we can check it, but we're not going to. Now, you see this inequality. 4 is less than 36. That's true. Okay, what happens if we divide by 4 on both sides? Actually, I'm going to keep it gray. What happens if we divide by 4 on both sides? Well, 4 divided by 4 is 1. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Hey, this is true. That works. Cool. That's a real thing. That is really cool. Okay. Now you also see that -4 is less than 36. That's true. Okay. But what if we divide by -4? Well, we get 1. Okay. Is less than 36 divided by -4 is a -9. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not true. This is a false statement. Shoot, so what's the difference here? Why did this work, but this didn't? Well, here we divided by a positive number, so that was cool. And here we divided by a negative number, which apparently is uncool. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to make this sound. Because what you're doing here is you are going to take the inequality symbol and you are going to flip it. So flip the inequality symbol. Because check it out. What if we did that up here? Here it is not true that 1 is not less than -9. But if we took this guy and we flip him around, 1 is greater than -9. That's true. And that's what we're going to do. Whenever we divide by a negative number, if we've got a negative here, we've got a let's see, can I draw that symbol in? Man, so much for shortest notes. He's going to flip around. Anyway. Oh, I know what I was looking for. I was looking for that symbol. Flip them around. Okay, we're back in business. When you multiply or divide, here we go. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip your inequality symbol around. Yeah. So good. Okay, here we go. We're almost done with this equation. We haven't even started it yet. To get b all by itself, and we need to undo that negative. So we're going to divide by -1. And since we divided by a -1, we need to flip that inequality symbol around. That gives us b is less than or equal to -4.7. What about here? Here, what's happening to our c? Well, we've got a 3/4. So to undo that, I'm going to multiply times 4/3. Because when I multiply times 4/3, the 4 is going to cancel out. The 3 is going to cancel out. I got to multiply by 4/3 on this time. But guys, we didn't multiply by a positive or negative number, so we're going to keep the inequality symbol the same. He does not flip out. We're left with a -8 on top, a 3 on bottom, and we leave it alone. So even though this number that we end up with is negative, we're not going to flip around because the thing we divided by or the thing we multiplied by, that's not negative. So we didn't flip out. Oh no, it's time to flip out. Check it out. We've got a -8 happening, so we need to divide by -8. These -8s will cancel out, but because we're dividing by a -8, we need to flip this guy around. So we have a is less than -5. And finally here we have 7 is greater than -d/2. So to undo this divide by -2, I'm going to multiply times a -2 on both sides. But check it out, we're multiplying by a negative number, so we got to flip out. Flip them around. Get -14 is less than d. Ta-da! That's cool and all, but when are we going to use this in real life? Well, Miss Mariah might. While she's conditioning for basketball, she runs at least 8 miles every day, sometimes more, but at least 8. So if she runs at an average pace of 6 miles per hour, how much time does she spend running every day? Oh, here's our question. How much time does she spend running every day? We have this very helpful hint that tells us rate times time is our distance. Okay. Now our question is how much time? That we don't know. But we know her rate. Her rate is 6 miles an hour. 6 miles per hour. We don't know her time, so times whatever the time is equals her distance. And her distance is at least 8. At least, so that's 8 is the smallest it could possibly be. If 8 is the smallest it could possibly be, go in here, 8 miles. Okay, just redraw that real quick. At least 8 miles. Awesome. Now we want to solve for t. So to solve for t, we're going to divide. I'm just going to rewrite it just with the numbers right now. That gives us c. Nope. 6t is greater than or equal to 8. So we're going to divide by 6 on both sides. And that gives us t is greater than or equal to 8/6, which is 4/3 of an hour. 4/3 of an hour is 1 1/3 hour, which is 1 hour and 20 minutes. Ta-da! So Mariah spends at least 1 hour and 20 minutes running every day. Good job, Mariah. So proud of you. Oops, blocked out the whole answer. Apparently we're not proud of you anymore. I'm just kidding. Keep up the great work, girl. And everybody else too. And have a great time on your homework.